Hi guys! In this video you'll see how the actors of the mini-TV series Pride and Prejudice 1995 have changed. You'll know their real names and age. I will show you how they look then and what's with them now. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go! Jane Bennet, Susanna Harker, was married to Charles Bingley. She loves to spend time with people she likes and knows how to share her joy or experiences, but mostly with really close people. Has a cheerful disposition, but is not afraid to protect a person. Lady Bennet is one of Jane's sisters. She doesn't tolerate rejection and is not particularly intelligent, but she doesn't pay much attention to it. She can often act on impulse and is not overly concerned with her own family's fate. Played by Julia Sawalha. Mrs. Bennet, Alison Steadman, is the mother of Jane. She is not an exemplary mother and clearly shows her sympathy only for individual daughters. It can be extremely persistent and even obsessed with the pursuit of giving daughters in marriage to wealthy men. Mr. Darcy, Colin Firth, is the biological father of Georgiana. He knows how to conduct business and increase his fortune, but sometimes he trusts his close circle too much and doesn't see obvious things, able to plan well and clearly formulate his thoughts. Mr. Bingley, Crispin Bonham Carter, is the wealthy Netherfield Park tenant who later became Jane's spouse. Can listen to the advice of his family, but when it comes to love affairs, he is used to acting on his own, can make concessions, and is not without compassion. Mr. Bennet is the father of Elizabeth and owns Longbourn. He's not far-sighted and not one of those people who zealously copes with difficulties. For him, the simpler, the better. Played by Benjamin Whitrow, who died of a cerebral hemorrhage in 2017. Kitty Bennet is Jane's sister. She has a windy nature and is prone to eccentric acts. Kitty doesn't seek to devote time to her development and is also not a favorite of the public, sometimes receiving various barbs in her address. She was played by Polly Maberly. Mary Bennet is not particularly eager to actively communicate and prefers instead to focus on her mental and creative development. Has a highly moral and somewhat insane stance on many things that not everyone likes. The role is performed by Lucy Briers. Miss Bingley, Anna Chancellor, has a noble status and lived in Netherfield Park. She is distinguished by her ideal manners, which she first of all notices in another person, as well as their financial condition. Knows how to hide her emotions and manipulate people. Wickham became the husband of Lady Bennet. He is characterized by friendliness, the ability to quickly make useful contacts and support any conversation. However, the other side shows him as dishonest, greedy and manipulative. Mrs. Hurst, Lucy Robinson, is one of Charles' sisters. She is quite educated, knows how to behave among high society, and has an addiction to a luxurious life. She is distinguished by caring and quickly switches her focus from things that are less interesting to her. Mr. Collins holds the rank of priest and was married to Charlotte. He is determined, not used to giving up at the first setbacks, and not afraid to make some biting comments. Not prone to compassion and is distinguished by selfishness. Played by David Bamper. Maria Lucas is related to Charlotte. She is characterized by the manifestation of sociability and some mutual assistance to her surroundings, but she can also discuss other people. External beauty plays an important role for her. The role is played by Lucy Davis. Georgiana Darcy is a close relative of Fitzwilliam, who also raised her. She has a balanced nature and is not particularly adept at relationships. Maintains a trusting relationship with her brother. Has a sweet disposition. The role is performed by Emilia Fox. Mr. Hurst is Lois' legal husband. He has a little interest in life except drinking, entertainment and gambling, and even rebukes those who have a different position. Quite lazy, narcissistic, and tends to be a center of attention. Played by Rupert Monsitard. Mrs. Gardiner, Joanna David, is related to Mrs. Phillips. It's characterized by a manifestation of sanity and some dedication. She is able to think, doesn't differ in obsession, and always has practical advice in her stock, not used to interrupting the interlocutor. Lieutenant Danny maintains good friendly relations with George Wickham, with whom he also crosses paths during the service. He knows how to be adamant, trying not to succumb to provocations, no matter how tempting the offer is. The role is played by David Bark Jones. Sir William Lucas is closely related to Charlotte. He's not prone to rudeness, knows a sense of tact, and tries to please many people. Sir William is not far-sighted and time after time can be frivolous in solving a situation. Played by Christopher Benjamin. Captain Carter is familiar with Colonel Foster in his line of duty and is also the object of Lydia's affection. He doesn't suffer from long journeys, and if required by official duty, he will go to any place. Has a good endurance. Mrs. Phillips, Lynn Farley, is closely related to Edward Gardiner. It's quite difficult for her to find a common language with other people, and many also speak of her as a rule not flattering. She can be somewhat tactless and prone to disgusting others. Mrs. Forster, Victoria Hamilton, is well acquainted with Lydia Bennet and preferred to maintain friendly relations with her. She doesn't like to sit at home day and night and tries to actively contact other people. Strives to maintain a positive attitude. Colonel Fitzwilliam is Georgiana's only close relative as well as Elizabeth's husband. Not prone to guile, able to work on himself and trying to be really attentive to his sister. Not used to allowing himself to be unnecessary to others. Played by Anthony Calf. Lieutenant Sanderson, Christopher Staines, is a colleague of Danny. He knows how to attract attention to himself. In a conversation he tries to show interest and strives not to stand out from the team. He doesn't drink much alcohol, only a little at important receptions. Lieutenant Chamberlain, Tom Ward, is deeply committed to his duties and tries not to let his fellow officers down. He has the ability to show seriousness when needed, but can also give in to the impulse and show his humorous side, capable of being quite persuasive. Charlotte Lucas, Lucy Scott, has an excellent friendly relationship with Elizabeth and also became the legal wife of William. She is able to be observant, is quite circumspect and not devoid of intelligence. She is not impulsive and thinks about her future. Wicker, Longbourn, is a local church officer who is authorized to conduct all necessary ceremonies, including weddings. He has a deep voice and a very look, but he is not prone to judgment. Played by Sam Beasley, who passed away in his sleep in 2017. Mrs. Young, Julie Bevan, worked for Fitzwilliam but was also an active contributor to George Wickham. She knows how to be cunning, resourceful, and can show devotion, but her greed sometimes overlaps this, and she can share information for a good reward. Hill is part of the servants of the Longbourn estate, who are responsible for running the household and running errands for the Bennet family. She knows how to show sincerity, be empathetic, and rejoice in the success of others. Elizabeth Bennet, Jennifer Ellie, is Fitzwilliam's sweetheart. She knows how to show wisdom, is capable of forgiveness, can also be impudent, but at the same time she tries not to offend any of the people, able to think quickly and has a musical nature. Mrs. Reynolds is the maid in charge of keeping Pemberley in perfect condition. She has a perfect memory, a high level of diligence, and is able to pick up even in small but important details that others don't see. The role is performed by Bridget Turner. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share it on social networks, like it, and of course subscribe to the channel.